I'm fine, Alara, and welcome to Ojodu Primary School in the Ojodu LCDA of Lagos. It's somewhat supposed to be a highly populated area of Ojodu area, not so far from the Ikeja area, which is the capital city of Lagos State. But we will say that this exercise is starting pretty much behind schedule. The exercise is supposed to begin at about 8 a.m. but the materials and the officials for this election didn't arrive until about 10 minutes before 9 p.m. That's about 50 minutes late. 50 minutes late for the election to start, but they should have been here before 8 a.m. but they arrived just before 9 a.m. But let me give you an understanding of what is happening down there. There are two polling units, polling unit 012 and polling unit 013. Polling unit 013 is just behind me, and just let me show you, just on this other side of these premises is polling unit 013. So there are two polling units here, and some of the voters are trickling in one after the other. Some of them have been waiting, and if you look just far beyond, you will see that there are voter register already on the wall. Don't forget that that is the same register used for the 2019 election, which is going to be used for this election. The same register INEC used for the election is what last year the Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission will be using for these local government elections. So that is what they're relying on, and if you can see that, so just behind me are some of the voters who have just arrived. And if I take you back here on this other polling unit, they're just giving some kind of information for the voters. So what you start with is some kind of enlightening of the voters on what to do, on how to go about it. They came earlier, they set up the cubicle. This is where the voting will be done. In this cubicle, it's supposed to be an open secret ballot system where the voter will come behind this cubicle, thumbprint on the ballot paper, and thereafter come towards this area. And there are two boxes, because don't forget there is a legislative election and executive election, the councillorship seat, and of course the ballot for the ballot box for the councillorship seat, and the one for the chairmanship positions. And there are several kinds of security operatives that you can find, from the police, Nigerian police, to the Lagos State Neighborhood Security Corps, the Neighborhood Watch. They're all here. Let me allow you to see what is happening. If you can come closer so we can see what the official is doing.
And this is for the chairman. This is the first one. Like you can all see, it is blank. There's nothing on it. Brand new. This is the second one. Can you see? Okay. Brand new. And this is the third one.
So pretty much, the official is showing off the ballot papers that are being not tampered with just yet, and so all the materials that are going to be used for the election, the ballot papers, the ballot sheet, and if you can see, it's an election that is supposed to be under the guidance of the COVID-19 protocols, face mask, and you can see the officials are in their into gloves also, and the card reader machine, which is also going to be used.
So we just put it on right now in your presence. It is off. Can you see? So that's everything we got for today's election.
All right. So you can see also the sanitizer, the thermometer for testing the voters, and we're supposed to have everybody pretty much on their face mask. See, one of the agents is not on his face mask. It's an election that is supposed to be strictly on the guidance of the COVID-19 protocol. This is an election that is starting pretty much behind schedule. Alero, Ayo, that is the situation we have right here. This is our first stop at the Ojodru Primary School, Unit 012 and Unit 013. Starting behind schedule, a handful of voters who have called in here. A few of them have come here, but since they didn't find any official, they left. Perhaps some of them are living around this area. We'll find them back in another few minutes. But that's the situation. It's just about 9:30 a.m. here in Lagos, and the local government election is just getting to a sluggish start.
Sean, just before you go, what is the process for the voter? So he goes there, checks for his name on the voter register that is pasted on the wall, and then what does he do?
So, sorry, if you can take that again, Alera, so I can hear you clearly.
I said from the point of view of the voter, he arrives at the polling station, he checks for his name on the register that's on the wall, right? If he finds his name on that wall, what does he do next?
Oh, great. So, very good question, Alera. So, this is an example of what happens when voters come. This is the very first point of call. This is a first stop. So, if the camera comes slightly closer, you can see the voter register here with the names on it, because the only body in Nigeria allowed for election register is INEC. So they have the register. So when you check the register here and you can find your name, then you go with your permanent voter card or your temporary voter card up onto the voting unit. The first stop here, you check for your name and your number. If it correlates or corresponds, then you now take that and go to the polling officer. Just let me show you quickly what you do next. There is a corresponding voter register right here. They have a similar record of what is on the wall right here, which the voter has to use, and now they have to use the card reader machine to match what you see to authenticate your biometric. So you have to have all of this before you can get be allowed to vote. So that is pretty much what you're going to do when you get here, Alera. It's pretty much straightforward. Nothing too far away from what we see in the general elections.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, just before I let you go, Sho, I don't know what you think of the roads right now you're going to be traversing. There was a lot of traffic before 8 o'clock this morning, and there's supposed to be no movement on the roads between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. How do you see the road? How was the road before you got to where you are now? And since it's 9:30, you say now, what's the road like? What's the road like?
Pretty much free, I mean, for those who, if you live in London, New York, if you live in Lagos, you pretty much have an idea of what roads will be like in a commercial city like Lagos on a Saturday, but it's pretty much empty. It takes an average of 20-30 minutes to drive from the ChannelsTV headquarters to this kind of place, but it took us less than 10 minutes to drive. Just you can give you a sense of how fast you can move on the road. The roads are free. There are checkpoints by the police officers who are not allowing the free movement. If you're not allowed on the road, if you're not on essential duty, if you're not a journalist, if you're not on election duty, you're not allowed to move. So pretty much the roads are free, and it's going to be like that for the next few hours until about 3 p.m. when the roads will be thrown open. Don't forget, we're at the corridor of the city, at the border of the city, where we can see people moving in and out. As early as 6 a.m. when I got to the office this morning, there are pretty much a lot of people who are trying to get out of town early, those who are traveling and making their way out. Aside that, the roads are now very much distorted, and people are just moving in the inner roads of the city.
Just one more thing. Is this in any way likely to encourage people to come out to vote? Because part of the reason that I believe the Lagos State government said no movement, and maybe Ogun State as well, is that maybe it'll encourage people to go out and perform their civic responsibilities. Do you see that happening? given the spate of voter apathy over the years?
Absolutely, look, let's be frank with ourselves. A lot of Nigerians talk about what they want government to do for them. They clamor for the kind of things they want to see, developmental issues, governance issues. But the role of an average citizen is to participate in selecting, electing those who will govern them. When you do not come out on a day like this, you are depriving yourself of having a say in who governs you. And this is the closest government to the people, the local government. And this is the only opportunity you have to be part of that exercise. It's looking pretty much free. No fear of insecurity or any kind of violence. That as much as been promised by the police and LASIEC in this election. And usually people get registered pretty much very close to where they live. So there is no excuse for people not to go out. If you cannot move to work or do any other thing, why not just come out and vote? Lagos State is a commercial hub, the nerve center of the nation. It's important that citizens who live in Lagos or from Lagos participate in these elections. It's very important.
Okay. Thank you very much, and we'll let you go for now, but we'll be coming back to you for updates as the program goes along. Thank you very much. Cheum Okinbaloi at Ojoju.